Let's start I don't have the planning and zoning meeting for this month. Appreciate everybody coming, and the agenda's up on the TV, or will be up on the TV. First of all, we have the roll call. Adrian?
Mr. Coakley, Mr. Bush, Mr. Kerrigan.
Here.
Mr. Driver.
Here.
And Ms. Wilker.
Here.
Okay. We have the minutes attached in our packet from our last meeting, for several meetings, I guess.
You don't have August 15th.
Okay. We have July 31st and August 1st then. And does anybody have any concerns or questions or comments or anything they'd like to see changed on any of those minutes?
Not me.
If so, then we need a nomination, or not a nomination?
Motion. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, first on the docket, we've got commercial development order for Golden Trailer Storage Facility at 1024 15th Street. In our packet, we've got a development order application. We've got attached questionnaires filled out. We've got drawings of where it would go, which we appreciate, which helps us get a better picture of what's going on. We've got engineering drawings for the structures itself, and the plat for the property. Now, I would like you to clear up for us the order application, the development application, and the fact that it's a residential development application that we've crossed off and written commercial on, and that evidently now we've got a standard application for commercial and residential that
It's
works
the
for
same
both?
form, only we reformatted it. We put an area where you can write in commercial or residential instead of having to cross it out.
Okay.
It's really never been a problem in the past, but we want to be as professional as we can.
Okay.
I looked on the website, for some reason it wasn't on the website today, so I'll make sure that it gets on there right away so that people can access it without having to have too much trouble.
So the fact that we took a residential one, made it a commercial, is there anything on this form or not on this form that we should be aware of? Or I know you had a quick conversation, Bo has looked at the site as far as stormwater drainage, and there is some...
Right, he took a few days to research one item, which was on the setbacks on the right side from the pole barn to the property line is 5 feet. He wanted to make sure that housing some combustible cans in a boat, how would that impact the neighbors? In other words, how far away does the neighbors have to be from that? The answer is you got to have 10-foot clearance between buildings. And so with the setbacks on this side and the setbacks on the other side, then they comply. So he made sure that we were okay in that.
Okay, great.
And also just, I think for the benefit of Mrs. Wilker, because I think we were talking about it a little bit before she came
Right.
in, there is a slope on the roofs of the pole barns which goes to the east. It slopes to the east. There is a natural drainage ditch in that 5-foot setback, which takes the runoff from that roof on down towards the north, where that does take care of itself stormwater wise.
Okay.
And that way the neighbors won't be
So the
impacted.
drainage shouldn't be a problem then?
Not at all.
And Bo's looked at that, he's
You betcha.
comfortable with that. Great, okay. Zach or Lee, do you have anything to add to the proposal, or could you talk to us a little bit about the size of the actual property, and that you're only using the one section is pretty well completely covered with the roofs and the asphalt, but when you divide that into the total size of the property, it only comes up to what, 54% as a
I
issue?
think we could use 90%, we're using 54%. So what you
Right.
see fenced is just 700 feet at almost 1,300 feet. I hope one day I'm back in front of you because we're asking to expand, but right now we're talking about using a small fraction of what technically is allowed.
Okay. And as far as the asphalt that you're using, is that going to be completely runoff water, or is it more of a stone mixture where there might be some, like a paver where it would have some?
It's the same mixture that they're using in Killer Seafood right now. The reason that
Yeah.
the asphalt buildings, I mean, the reason we're asking to do that, rather than just doing rocks, which we don't have to ask to do, is while they're redoing 98, it's half the price of rocks. So we can spend 30,000 on that or 60,000 on rocks. So while they're pulling up 98, it's just a financial decision.
Okay, makes sense. And will there be a open area at the end to turn around, or is it, what's your envision on that? I know the structure itself is like 600 feet long.
And we have 700 feet fence, so we're leaving about 50 feet on each side for people like me that aren't as good at backing in trailers.
Okay,
So you'll have, either end in case, maneuverability wise. And don't know that we'll build all of these right away, but didn't want to we want to go ahead and get permitted for what we're hoping it is one day in a big phase. Right now you see some uncovered boats up there. We got some more, one coming in today. I mean, they're just desperate for, can we put it somewhere for the storm? But we'll start building the whole barns and hopefully eventually do more, but you won't see that whole thing built at one tomorrow.
okay. And the gentleman that wrote the letter allowing you to use the land for free, does he own the adjoining property on the left, or?
He didn't say use the land for free, but it's just, I knew me and Lee would be here tonight. He's our partner that owns the land.
Okay,
He's an owner of Mexico Beach Storage also.
okay. So does he own the land immediately to the west?
No, he just owns this piece.
Okay,
We're not using any neighboring property.
okay.
I just felt it maybe to tie in while
Yep.
we're here without him here. The Newmans own this, the Newmans are our partners on this.
Okay. The reason I was asking, I was just wondering if anybody here is representing the land on either side or has any comments, pros or cons, regarding the pole barn location or the drainage or anything at all.
This fellow's met with us a lot. He's real nice, friendly, all in support. Just goes fantastic. He may be another phase one day. And these people here all come over that they've enjoyed having nothing but agree it's allowed. So it's kind of,
Yep.
we hope we're as good neighbors as we can be.
Where are the wetlands area?
Not in this picture.
Okay, are they back into the trees?
50 feet past the fence.
Okay.
So if we're talking here, we're talking wetlands back here. Basically, as you see how far the palms could go here, they only went as far as they could because of the wetlands.
I see.
Right there.
Okay. All right. Any other comments from any members of the board or the audience? You guys have anything to add?
Ask Lee some tough technical questions, he's here for that.
What's the perk test show for the property? No. Okay.
We feel it's a big need for the community, but I know that's irrelevant on what you're looking at tonight, but after lots and lots of research, we feel it does fully comply. Some neighbors prefer to have nothing.
Well, I think it's real exciting simply because for a long time we've been talking about if we, push the ordinance of how many boats on a piece of property, what's the alternative? Where do people take them to go? And we know the other storage lot was full, so I think it's a good community ad for us. Real good.
They've sent us all our customers so far, so they're not mad at us. They're full.
And you're secure.
Yeah.
You have a gate.
We have a working gate, we're proud of that.
Mel, from your team, do you have any recommendations?
My team approves, would like to see the development order approved.
Okay.
I do have a landscaping trailer that was stolen out of the space place, so I'm looking forward to a place that's got a gate.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, do we have a motion regarding the proposed?
Yeah, based on the
Pole
fact
barn?
that it's zone commercial, it complies, and city staff recommends approval of the development order, I make a motion that we approve it.
Driver,
Yes.
Mr. Kerrigan.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
I had the motion ready.
Okay, next one on the agenda is minimum house size. Mel, you want to bring us up to speed on this item and why it's on the agenda?
Well, I believe we had spoken previously about a minimum house size during our P&Z meetings. I think what we decided on was 800 square feet minimum house size, but I'm not 100% clear in that, so I thought we'd ask the board to see if that was their recollection or whether we actually made a recommendation. I know we settled on 800 square feet, but I'm not sure whether it was a formal motion or.
And I remember us discussing 800 square feet and also 750 square feet. And I don't remember
Yep.
if those numbers were resolved, but I do remember the number of 750 being discussed quite a bit.
Yep, I think we went back and forth in that area after starting quite a bit higher, and we looked at some of the surrounding cities and what square footage they had as a comparison. We did have some input from the audience at the time that felt like that we wanted to have affordable type areas for people to live, and if we set the square footage too high, that would make it difficult for those individuals who might be seeking something smaller. And we also talked about the fact that several of the condos, one bedrooms have square footages that would be substantially less than that, so it isn't something that would be out of kilter with the rest of the community per se as what sizes we have.
Well, items 2 and 3 are kind of like the same
Right, and that's
same
where it's going to
same
next,
duck,
so-
exactly. Because as you know, there's been a couple of metal type homes that were built that are smaller and have a garage door in the end, and when the people are away, they tend to use them for storage of boats and things of that sort. So the question is, we're trying our best to not let that happen again. So the city council did pass an ordinance where you can't have a total metal residential home. So that takes care of the metal part, but it doesn't take care of the size or anything of that sort. As I indicated before the meeting started, the one on 5th Street in Maryland or 5th in Florida, I never can remember the address, but it was the first one that came up. No question, that family uses it on the weekends. When they're there, they don't park boats in it while they're there. But when they leave, they do park the boat inside out of the weather, and it's a little safer environment for the boat. We did, week before last, approve the CO, the certificate of occupancy, with the stipulation that while they have anybody in the building, they cannot store combustible type things, the car, boat, things of that sort, because it's incompatible with the livable use of the property. And so they are complying with that, but it still doesn't sour the opinion of the neighbors on a small building that they believe was built as a garage.
Yep.
And so, because the mere fact you've got a garage door on one end of the building, according to Florida building codes, means it's okay. But, so the question is, do we want to recommend to the city council that they pass some sort of ordinance that would negate the ability to have a garage door opening into a living area or something? You know, the exact language, I'm just throwing that out, but that's for our attorneys to figure out, mine's greater than ours.
And guessing if that one's 10 by 20, then it's 200 and some square feet, or maybe slightly more than that, where if we had our minimum established, we could help avoid perhaps having a similar situation in that regard, at least have something more sizable. Okay.
How large is that house at 4th of Georgia?
My mind is not straight enough to tell you exactly off the top of my head.
The one we're talking about, the single car garage, quote unquote, I mean, I don't know, but I can't believe it'd be more than 300. A 2-car garage is 400 square feet, 20 by 20. that would be a small two-car garage. So it's not a two-car garage, so it's got to be under that. Okay.
So I guess we got the two issues, the garage door and the minimum house size. I know you said 750, 800. You know, you want to throw out to the council a recommendation of either of those two figures, or,
Right.
you know, let them maybe make the final call which of the two they want.
Do we have anybody in the audience who has any comments about minimum square footage size or any thoughts?
I would like to see it 700 if you're gonna put a minimum on it. The house next to me is 608. I think 700 is a good size.
What is the width of a, if you think of a modular home or a mobile home, double wide? Is that 16 feet?
Oh, no, it's a double wide, it's much bigger than that. Single wides are about 60.
So, and how long would they be?
I have a small double wide. It's 26 by 44. But most single wides are 14 to 16 wide, and then they go anywhere from 60 to 80 feet long.
So yours is 1,144 square feet.
Yes. And I'm using mine as an example because most of you are
Right.
where I live.
Right.
308 Maryland, just down from you, is 868 square feet.
Isn't there a new one down from you that they built, that you said kind of like Tool?
Oh,
Tool
the
time? Yeah.
That's the one directly next to me, the little blue one. And that's the 608 square feet.
Okay. Is that a one-bedroom?
It's a one-bedroom, quite a large bedroom, standard size bath, and, you know, great big shower tub, toilet, vanity. And then they have built-in bunk beds in a section, and then they have the living room, kitchen area. And then
Okay.
they have a porch on it.
The townhomes on 41st Street are 640.
What, and
The townhomes on 41st Street are 640 square feet.
Which ones are those?
Three of them or four of them.
42, 41 on the
ABC.
right-hand side? Or the,
Yes.
It's on the right as you come from going east.
right,
Yeah.
41st. What about the ones down by Toucans that are being built?
The new one's 6.
They're all different. They're between the 600 and 800 range.
Okay.
There are actually maybe 5 staked out already.
Yeah, they got the stem walls up on about 5 of them right now.
Okay.
The weather's not cooperating with the Malerabas.
So it seems like 650, 700 on the low side, 800 on the higher side, quote unquote. Does anybody have a feel for a number we want to recommend, or do we want to
I know
pass
last
it on with
time,
a range, or what do you think?
last time when we had the full board and there was more discussion, we were talking about 800 and 750 square feet. I just remember those two numbers. I don't remember which one won out. So it would be my recommendation that we pass along 750 square feet. That's on the low end of that discussion and on the upper end of this discussion. So that's the one that I'm comfortable with.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion to that effect?
I make a motion that minimum square footage of 750.
I'll second that then. And those were the only two numbers I could recall as well.
Adrian, you want to give us a roll call?
Miss Wilker,
Yes.
Mr. Driver.
Yes.
Mr. Kerrigan.
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be our recommendation for the council to see fit what they want to do.
And on the garage door thing, you want to make a recommendation to craft some language to combat that again? Do you want to touch it?
What I'm curious about on that is there are garage doors that are integrated into high-end architecture. Not the type of garage that I believe that we're all thinking about. You're just your typical
Right.
metal door with no windows. But our architect that designed my building in Port St. Joe and designed our home here in Baton Rouge, or home here in Mexico Beach, their home in Baton Rouge has a garage door, which is like the type of door that you would see in a firehouse. And it's
Opens
a
into their
Lots of
dwelling.
glass.
it's a beautiful dwelling, and they say they don't really use it that much anymore the way they intended, but that door can open up and have a lot of indoor-outdoor living. And it's more attractive than, if I saw that home that I'm thinking about right now, it would be as attractive, if not more so, than most of the homes in Mexico Beach. And it uses a garage door, I think, technically, so, I don't, it's, we have to be careful on how we,
Right.
Well, if you just talked in terms of separation of living and garage/storage, you could maybe
Get it that
move
way.
it that way, that there would be a separation of the two, because obviously that house, there's no separation. There is a definite separation. That door is just like a front door.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just
an architecturally different front door.
right.
So, yeah.
And it's
started-
not even in the way that this house is oriented, it's not a front door. They have a front door. It opens to a side courtyard. And
I think what might be helpful, I know, Bo knows these minimum sizes of living areas better than I do, because I can't quote you that stuff like he can. But I think it would be helpful to maybe recommend that living area can't be included in their garage
Exactly.
area or something, and that it has to be walled off, because normally a garage has a wall so that the fumes can't get into the living area. So I think attacking it from that standpoint might be a
That's
little
just
better.
what I was thinking, the
Right.
separation of living versus,
Right.
Could you come back to us with some language from Bo rather than non-building type?
Yeah, because
Try to come
if
up
we
with
try to do it,
something.
it's not
Yeah.
gonna be
We'd probably
pretty.
No.
butcher it, so
exactly.
Right.
I think it'd be good if he could give us, or the lawyer maybe.
A little bit
take
of guidance on,
Just something that.
On that
will
idea
Hold
that
up as it gets farther upstream if somebody were to
Sure.
question it. We want to make something reasonable, clear, understanding, and fair.
but technically correct too.
Right.
Right, because I knew that what I was saying made sense, but it wasn't the verbiage that we'd like to see.
it's gotta be worded such that we can't understand it, but attorneys can, right?
Right. Hopefully not, but yeah, something clear. Is everybody okay with that?
I am.
Okay. Mel, you have anything under various and sundry items? We'll come back up to getting the date for the comp plan.
Luckily, no.
No?
The only thing I had was just picking a date for the next, comp plan meeting.
Okay. Anybody from the audience have anything they want to talk about? We appreciate you coming. I wanted to pass these out. This is a, people in the audience one also.
Take it out there.
We'll take a look at it. It's actually a table of contents. David, did you get one? Just one page, they're all set. It's the table of contents for what we're working on in the comprehensive plan. And while it looks good that we're down to section 8, do we have an extra we can let them take a look at? Okay, it's the table of contents of the comp plan. It looks good that we're down to section 8, but we're actually only on page 28 of 87 pages. So we're really in the meat right now. Section 8 is gonna be tough, that's where it is, and that's what we're gonna have to dig through. So I think we should try to stay focused like we have been and keep pressing on this. But that kind of surprised me when I looked at it. I thought, oh, well, we're almost done, we're in section 8. But nope, lots more to go. So I
Most of the
am,
document, section 8, yeah.
yes, I am out of town starting tomorrow and back on the 14th of September, and pretty good anytime after that. so I'm open to our meeting place is available on the day that the town council no longer meets. Is that correct? And we don't have to meet on that day, but I just know that's usually available then. And the other thought I had is, I don't know what your schedule is, Jack, whether you wanted to try to do something during lunch to save an evening. You know, I think a solid hour and 10, 15 minutes at lunch time would get us home in the evening, and you're pretty close.
Yeah.
You could just buzz
Sure.
over and come back, and that would also
that'd
help
be great.
our town employees as far as giving them some nights back to their family.
So the first available week for you is the week of the 18th.
Yes, I'm back on the 14th, so that only leaves Friday, so to clear it would be the 18th. You have a calendar? Yep. So,
And the only day that I can't do that week is the 18th. I'm out of.
okay,
The 21st is out.
okay. How are you looking that week?
19th, 20th, or 22nd would all work for me.
Okay, and
If we did midday, yes.
Mel and Adrian, any of those days work better for you? For a lunch meeting? Lunchtime meeting?
19th works okay for me.
Okay,
Hopefully.
all right, let's make it the 19th at what time, Jack? Works for you? Noon?
Yeah.
High noon, okay. 19th at high noon. Come ready to, about an hour, we'll give it an
Be
hour and
productive.
15 minutes and blow the whistle after that. And then we'll work on section 8, which we started a little bit already, so we'll hopefully review the information that we've done, not spend some time on that and move forward on the other stuff. So if you have a chance to look at those sections and make any comments, that would be great.
If it would help, I can order a couple of pizzas for us so we can have a working lunch.
Working lunch, that'd be
great.
Even better, thank you.
Okay. We'll get it done.
Okay. Get a little extra for our,
Yeah, we'll make sure we have.
Just consider me auxiliary staff.
attendees. Okay. All right, sounds good. Any other comments, questions? Okay. I move we close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Meeting's adjourned.
thank you.